I believe the unions have been free riding off of me and teachers like me for decades, and I have a big problem with that. They're powerful, they're entrenched, and they're really more focused on their own self-preservation than on doing what's right for their members, and in this case, on educating and protecting children.
All right, that's Rebecca Friedrich, ladies and gentlemen, and she, a plaintiff in Friedrich versus California Teachers Association. She's also a Buena Park, California school teacher. Joining us also is Terry Pell, president at the Center for Individual Rights. And welcome to both of you. And let me start with you, Rebecca. You are at the center of a case that a lot of people think could end forced unionization. What prompted you to sue the teachers union?
Well, thanks for having us today. What prompted me was I was very troubled because the union keeps standing for policies that are actually damaging to my students and to myself and my colleagues. So when I tried to do something about that within the union by serving as a union rep and a union leader, they would not listen to anything I had to say. They just did not want to change these policies. And so I decided I had to do something from the outside to do what's right for children, what's right for teachers. So I'm here today because I believe that we need to put the rights of individuals above the rights of these powerful, entrenched unions.
And let me ask you, as the attorney representing Rebecca, how significant is this case?
Well, this is very significant. This could really be one of the blockbuster cases next term. We're asking the court to strike down the laws in 25 states that make union membership compulsory, union dues compulsory for all public employees. So, there are tens of thousands of contracts that have been negotiated all over the country on the basis of compulsory union dues. It's been the practice for the last, 40 years. And we're asking the Supreme Court to strike all those laws down on the basis of the First Amendment. We do not believe that the First Amendment allows the state to compel public employees to pay money to an organization with which they fundamentally disagree. We think that amounts to compelled speech, and under settled First Amendment precedents, that's unconstitutional.
Let me make a layman's argument here, but they say, well, if you want to be a teacher in this case, and you know that part of that job is joining the union, then you need to accept that. Otherwise, and believe me, I'm on your side, Rebecca, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here with Terry. Then don't become a teacher in this district or whatever if you don't like what the union stands for. Is that a legitimate argument that they may make, or what is their argument going to be?
Well, that is one of their arguments, but the fact of the matter is that the Constitution does not allow states to impose that conditions on teachers. As American citizens, we cannot be compelled by the government to fund speech with which we disagree. And what the union is doing is inherently political. The positions it negotiates for in collective bargaining, as well as its overt lobbying, are very political. The union is taking political positions. Some teachers agree with those positions. Many teachers do not. And the Constitution does not allow the government to force individuals to subsidize speech with which they fundamentally disagree.
No, go ahead. I was going to ask Rebecca, and I want to get back to you, Terry. But Rebecca, in what ways do you believe that the union is working, in effect, against the interests of the children?
That's a great question. Well, first of all, the union, the National Education Association, which is our national union, about a year and a half ago, came out against a bipartisan bill that sought to prohibit convicted kidnappers, convicted sex offenders, and convicted murderers from working in America's public schools. They came out against that using my money.
I think that's a pretty darn good open and shut answer right there.
Yeah.
Everything else would be gravy on top of that, because, yeah, believe me, the NEA, the UFT and all that, but I am a huge critic, and I think that they have ruined education in this country, and I don't even know if it's recoverable unless we have charter schools and school choice for everybody. But Terry, let me ask you this. You've seen the Supreme Court. Let's say it's the same court. Makeup is the same. We don't know that, of course, but assuming that. And you've seen how they've reacted to, I don't know, they don't want to mess up the apple cart, so to speak. You know, if we let the states decide on gay marriage, oh, it would be too complicated, it'd be a zigzag, and, you know, it would be chaos. And if we took away the subsidies for health care, then, oh, you know, that would be chaotic. And so do you fear that even though, you know, you might have the law on your side, that one swing vote or whatever might say, well, the chaos that might result wouldn't be worth it, so therefore go in with the status quo?
Well, I think that is a real question, and I think the unions are trying to politicize this issue as much as possible in order to make it into a left-right issue. Chief Justice Roberts is not comfortable taking the court into areas where the left and the right are, you know, totally divided. So they're hoping that they can scare the court away from wading into this. But actually, this is not a left-right issue. There are many Democrats who are in favor of education reform and recognize that the monopoly power held by unions is bad for education.
Right.
It's bad for teachers and bad for students. So I don't think this issue divides along left-right in the same way that, say, Obamacare was perceived to be a left-right.
Well, let's hope that you're correct. Listen, I wish both of you the best of luck. Rebecca, you're very brave to undertake this, and Terry, good luck with everything. We'll speak to you as we get closer, I'm sure. Folks, when we come back, much more of the Steve Malzberg Show. Don't go away.